to Board Game Empire. So today we're going to be doing a review of Wombat Kombat.
Now this is a game that will be coming up in Kickstarter, and so it's a kind of like a combat card drafting type of game. You do mitigate the combat also with the dice, and then you also get end game scoring. There's continuous immediate effects that kind of affect the game. You also get points. They're called poo points. So, but just a great little combat game, and it actually has a lot of strategy to it. We're quite surprised. So we're just going to jump right into the review. So what did you think about the rules?
I'll give the rules a 5 out of 5. We had no questions in our playthrough. Everything was super obvious. Also, the cards were actually worded really well. The cards. There was nothing that we were stumped on like the wording or anything. So I would give the rules a 5 out of 5.
I would give it a 5 out of 5. It does come with a player aid, which I really appreciate when the games come with player aids. Simplifies some of the learning curve. Also, the book is well illustrated.
Yeah.
It has the game ideas, components, setup, 3-player setup, cards in detail, gameplay, actions, action 2. And so it has some examples pretty much. And then pretty much end game and collecting poo, and then pretty much the thank you. And then you have a card reference in the very back, which is very helpful. So just great rules, easy to learn. It has some strategic elements, like I said, so 5 out of 5 in the rules. What did you think about the components?
I'll give the components a 4 out of 5 because, by the way, this is a prototype. The cards do bend a little bit easily, and that's not really that's just a prototype. I do like the tokens. Wait, they can't even see that. There you go. You're better at that. But for dice, I'm sure it may be changed, but you actually have to put the stickers on each dice. So that's not really that annoying. It's just that the thing is that I can maybe see if you play this game a lot, they may heal.
Yeah.
But this is again prototype quality, and for a prototype, this game almost feels complete.
Yeah, so I'll give the components a 4 out of 5, and that's pretty much under their stipulation that we are playing the prototype. Yeah. So there are some components that will be upgraded, and the card quality is normally always way better than the prototype. The dice, I'm guessing they'll be engraved. So 4 out of 5. I don't see any issues. I think that once the game's funded and it's completed, it'll probably be 5 out of 5. So for now, it's 4 out of 5. So what did you think about the experience?
I would give the experience definitely a 5 out of 5 because in our playthrough video, we were sure that Amanda won, but because of the in-game card where each glorious wombat counted as -1 point because she was knocking our wombats down left and right, and each one of those hurt her instead of helping her. So I snuck up and came with the victory. So there's definitely lots of cool things that can happen. The game can change at any moment. So that's why we had a really fun time with this game.
So I would get the experience of 5 out of 5. Same reason. There is a lot, kind of like the end-game continuous and immediate. There are kind of like event cards that occur throughout the game and change the mechanic, the way you strategize for the end game. And so there's a lot of replayability, and I'll hit that later, but there's a lot of changing movements and components and everything that pretty much just keep the game fun and going. It's quite a lengthy game. I think it pretty much says 30 minutes. It's going to play longer than 30 minutes. So
yeah, because if any player gets more than 3 or 4 sets of... If a player gets 3 or 4 sets of wombats, they're basically automatically the target.
Yeah, and so not only that, but it never did it even throughout the whole game, that never occurred. Because if you're playing as strategic players, they're going to keep you away from getting those. And so it's going to be pretty much the end game is going to be the end of the cards, and then that's the way, and then you'll be just points. So experience 5 out of 5. What do you think about the mechanics?
I'll give the mechanics like a 4.8 out of 5. I really like the mechanics of the in-game continuous intermediate. It's I really like how the in-game's actually different. You don't see that many board games where there's like the continuous effect changes, the in-game effect changes, and the game strategy always changes. Because like 1 second you may be wanting to get the glorious wombats, and then the next like turn or two you're trying to avoid them. And each like turn someone bows and rolls the dice, something different happens, and you kind of have to rethink your strategy. And plus, I really like how many cards there are. There's a lot of cards in this deck, as you can see, which adds for a lot of replay value. But I'll get more into that later. I also like how this game is balanced. Anyone could win, even if you're losing. Like I think I was losing at the start, and then I came back because I was given the right set of cards. Plus, I also had a good strategy. So yeah.
So I would give mechanics a 4 out of 5. Great mechanics. There's a lot of elements to the game. There's things that you could do in the game where it's a pretty much set collection type game. And then there's different elements where you could attack or get rid of your opponent's card or collect your opponent's card. Very familiar to other card drafting games that came out in the last 3 or 4 years. What stands apart is pretty much the end game, the continuous immediate. I think those add to the game, whereas other games don't have that aspect of it. And so it pretty much does a neat twist to the game. Also, the reason I give it 4 out of 5 is there's a luck-based factor on the roll of the dice and card drafting. And so I can't give it a high score on the mechanics because of those 2 factors, because it's just a lot of times we'll factor in the luck base and how well you do in the game. So 4 out of 5. What do you think about replayability?
I'll give the replayability a 5 out of 5 because there are so many different cards in that deck. Lots of different in-game continuous and immediate cards. Plus, it's a game that's unique. It's different. It stands apart from other set collection card drafting games. Plus, it's actually quite easy to get to a table because the quick setup, quick teardown, and you only need to put the stickers on the dice once. Yeah. There's some games I've seen where you have to put the stickers on multiple times and things. So it leaves the game to have a lot of replay value, and all the cards do different things. And the player who's in the lead is always changing. Like the player who leads at the beginning is usually going to be a different player near the end. So for replayability, I give 5 out of 5. High replayability because of the amount of cards in the deck. Also, the end game continuous immediate add to it. I think that maybe in the Kickstarter they'll probably have more elements to that. I can't see them really adding to the deck. I can see them adding to the continuous end game or immediate, or might even have a surprise and have some other deck that pretty much you're able to manipulate the game with. But high replayability, just like he stated, that it's easy to set up, easy to tear down. It takes 3 or 4 minutes to set up, tear down, 8 minutes total. But also just there's so much to do in the game that just really, really, elevates the replayability. Quite impressed with it. And it feels different enough from other card drafting games that you will want to play this, as opposed to other ones. So just a great game. So what do you think of overall total? I would give this game a 8.9 out of 10, a 4.6 out of 5. This is actually a really, really fun board game. I really liked the whole twist of the in-game continuous media. That definitely adds to the game, and it's something unique and different. And also the deck, it has so many different cards, and the game takes a little long, but it makes up for it in the uniqueness and the overall replayability and experience of the game.
So I would give it like a 4 out of 5 and 8 out of 10. Just because the simple fact is high replayability. We have blast playing it, and it feels different and unique compared to other card drafting games that we played, and in a good way. Sometimes there's unique games that that are different, but they don't add to the experience or don't.
There's like too many sets in the kitchen.
Yeah, and then so there's just this one has the perfect balance of everything, and so really fun. And so 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, another thing that makes this game strong is it's kind of simple, but in a good way, because you can easily get to the table, anyone can learn it, and the type of like card drafting games, like it's simple, but even experienced board gamers will still like this game.
Yeah, so this is a great game for families. You probably could teach it to kids at 8 or maybe even younger, and adults will actually enjoy it at the same time. And it's a competitive game, so if you like competitive games, this will be a good fit. And it's easy to get to the table. I want to say it's quick because it takes quite a long time to play the game.
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in.
It would take shorter if you play with more people, though.
Yeah, but you just have to remember that just because it's cute and competitive and it's a card drafting game, this is not a filler game. This is more of a like 40 minutes to over an hour type game. And so, but you're going to have a blast playing it. And so, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Social media is down below in the description. I'm going to have a link of the Kickstarter, and we'll see you in the next video.